Today in the Boot Guide, we are reviewing the Saddleback front pocket waxed gear bag in this wonderful new tan color. So it's been over a year plus since I reviewed a Saddleback bag, and when I saw that this bag was being released, this tan with this beautiful bull brown leather color scheme that was going on and the size that they were making it in the tan, I knew it was time to get my hands on one and to do a review, because a bag like this really is something that's more practical for us guys who need a shoulder bag. If you don't want to haul a backpack and you don't want to haul around a camera bag and you want something that actually looks really nice, Saddleback's bags are the bags for you. And this double pocket bag, now that they've increased the volume inside this bag, now that they've made this more man-tastic, it was definitely something I had to review. So it's always a question, where do you start with something like this? What do you start? What part do you start in order to show it off, to showcase just how amazing this bag is? And so I'm going to start with the removable part, the strap. This Scottish 24-ounce cotton that they use in order to build the strap is folded over 4 times in order to ensure that it's extra strong. The thread that they're using is sail thread. It's a polyester thread that they use in real heavy-duty sail applications. Sailing, like boat sailing, like that type of sailing. So that thread has to be extremely strong, because think of all the wind that blows into a sail. Think of the pressures and the power and everything. Saddleback understands that if they use the best quality materials, they're going to get the best bag, and they're going to give you something that truly is an heirloom quality item. Stainless steel for all the clips on the bag. Both sides, beautiful heavy-duty stainless steel, a bent wire stainless steel spring, so it isn't like cheap carabiners that have bent wire. This thing is staying in place. This is climbing grade bending right here. This is what you find on really high-end carabiners for mountaineering or for rock climbing or something like that, where they use a bent wire. This is it. Beautiful stuff. Now the thing about the strap is that you have to wear the bag around a bit. The first few days, guess what? It's going to be uncomfortable. You've got that huge piece of old bull leather sitting on your shoulder, displacing the weight that you're putting inside this bag. So yeah, it's going to take a while for you to get some sweat in there. In order for you to start moving this thing around and flexing it around, you got to give it more than a week. You got to give it 2 or 3 or maybe even a month. But once you're there, that strap is only going to fit you. All right, let's move to the bag, and let's start right at the top, the T-handle. The T-handle is outstanding. This comes on most of their bags, and for obvious reasons. It's a great design. It's simple in everything about it. It's a very simple design handle, but it's one of those design features that works perfectly. Now the closures, the front closures, look at those. One, they look outstanding. That is just a beautiful looking closure. The way they designed this, the way they use the stainless steel hardware, they add the little extra leather loop with the pass-through on there. It's just quality. It looks great, and it works, and it's heavy duty, and it's gonna last forever. There's really no way you're gonna break this thing. Even if it gets stuck on something, you pull it away, there's just way too much going on in order for this thing to fall apart. Now, something you might notice when you first look at your Saddleback bag when you receive it, that some of the stitching in the corners, some of the stitching where parts go together, some of the places where they put a rivet through, and in order to hold the wax canvas together, it might not look perfect. And when I say perfect, I'm basing that off of the stuff we see from imported companies where every single thing looks like it came out of a printing press. Saddleback has got a lot of character behind it. So when there is a hanging stitch, when there is something that seems to be just a little off, it reminds you that these bags are made by people who are actually building your bag in this country. So we did the top handle, we did the front straps. Do we want to open it up? Well, let's close it up and let's look at this back part and the bottom. So this chunk of old bull leather on the back, this sits against your leg, this sits against your butt, depending on how you're wearing it, it sits against your hip. And this part right here is also genius in my opinion, because it's the smooth side of the leather. So if you're walking, it's not sticking to you, it's not digging into your leg, your hip, your butt, it's moving with your body. And eventually, I can contest from my other Saddleback bag, after about 9 months of wearing it daily, that this part has taken on a shape of my body where nobody else is ever going to be able to wear my bag. It's become soft, it's become pliable, and it is a pocket, and it becomes the type of pocket that you use more than you ever expected. Now, the one touch on this double pocket bag that I really like is I like that they put the old bull on the bottom. So now I've got a solid square surface that when I set the bag down, it stays flat. When I'm loading it up, when I'm putting things in or taking things out, when I've got it flapped over, having that hard square leather bottom really is a lifesaver. All right, here we are, the two big front pockets. They're wonderful, they're huge, they hold so much stuff, and they hold bigger items. Things that you don't need to put into the main pocket of the bag can go in there and the bag still closes. Even when this part is loaded up, Saddleback knew that as guys, we're gonna put everything we can find inside our bag. They made the straps long enough to cover all the way to the bottom. Wonderful touch. But these pockets, so they're just not big pockets on the front. If you collapse them down, you'll notice that there's a pocket on the other side because these bags, which they are just bags, are surface sewn to the front of the bag. And it's heavy duty surface sewn. This is not just one little single willy-nilly stitch that's put in there. That is a super heavy duty stitch. That's similar to what they build boots out of, the machine that does this stitching. So these front pockets, the pockets behind there, that gives you 4 pockets. And now we've got these 2 on the side. Now these 2 little gear pockets, just like that pocket on the back, these become indispensable to you. You will find yourself keeping your keys in there, dropping your cell phone charger in there, keeping a snack in there. Business cards, I find myself all the time loading up the back one with my business cards so they're just ready to hand out whenever I'm working and somebody talks to me. These pockets, indispensable because they're exposed. They're not closed up. They're not folded up. They're easy access, easy to get to. Now, of course, depending on the size of the phone you use, you could be sliding your cell phone in there, but because I use those big monster brick phones, there's no way my phone is going in there. But because I do use an OtterBox with a clip, when I don't have my phone clipped to my chest, I can clip it right down into that pocket and it's still accessible. Okay, so now one thing that I mentioned in the previous review of a Saddleback bag, and it still exists in this bag today, is if you're a tech type of guy, if you're like me running around with cameras and lenses, you have to remember that they're building these bags to be extra strong, so they're using really heavy duty materials. So some of the copper backed rivets are still exposed inside the bag. So before you drop your camera, before you drop something that could scratch easy inside there, so you might want to have something else inside your bag, some sort of softer item, a little bit softer bag, in order to put your camera in order to store your headphones in order to put your tablet or laptop into. Because you got to remember, you have exposed metal on the inside of the pockets and the main compartments of the bag. I did mention that it's 24-ounce waxed Scottish cotton. This is not lightweight stuff. The bag alone, empty, is heavyweight because everything on the bag is built to last. And this waxed cotton handles water, handles wind, and just handles use and abuse like nothing else out there. All right, so let's take a look at the loaded up bag being unloaded for 3 different types of people that I could imagine that would really get the full use out of this bag. So that's the Saddleback front pocket gear bag in this beautiful tan with this beautiful old bull leather. Hey, if you're currently using a Saddleback cotton canvas bag, please comment below. Let guys know which model you're using, how long you've been using it, and exactly what are you using it for. Is it a work bag? Is it a tool bag? Is it something that you're just keeping around in the car in order for you to get out there? Please comment below. Hey, if you want to see some detailed photos, or if you want to see me out and about with this bag, swing by to bootguy.com. I'll have all those photos and a short little video I made while I was out commuting, all available on my website, thebootguy.com. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. You know it really helps out. And remember, if you're on Instagram or Twitter, you can always follow me there. And also, if you're enjoying my videos, if you enjoy the way I talk about products, if you enjoy the way I talk about boots, think about supporting me on Patreon. Hey, if you're about to pick up one of these bags and you got a few questions about loading, unloading, size, scale, how long it takes to break it in, feel free to shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.